Imagine you are lying on an operating table, and the most advanced imaging technology in the world is scanning your body down to the molecular level. For centuries, we believed we had mapped every square inch of the human anatomy, from the complex folds of the brain to the tiny bones in the inner ear. We thought there were no more secrets left to uncover inside our own skin. Medical students have spent hundreds of years memorizing the same sets of lungs, hearts, and livers. But then a team of researchers using a revolutionary new type of microscopic lens looked at a familiar area and saw something that simply shouldn't be there. They didn't find a new cell or a new tissue. They found an entire, functional organ that had been hiding in plain sight since the beginning of human history. It's a structure so vast and so integrated into our biology that it literally touches almost every other part of your body. This discovery is being hailed as the most significant update to human anatomy in over a century. And it changes everything we thought we knew about disease, immunity, and how we actually function. Today we are diving into the incredible story of the interstitium, the hidden organ you didn't know you had, and why its discovery is a complete game-changer for the future of medicine. To understand how something this big could stay hidden for so long, we have to look at the traditional way scientists studied the body. For hundreds of years, anatomy was a science of the static. Pathologists would take a sample of tissue, slice it thin, treat it with chemicals, and look at it under a microscope. But there was a major flaw in this process. When you slice and fix tissue, you drain away all the fluids. The structures that hold those fluids collapse like an empty balloon. For centuries, when doctors looked at these samples, they saw what looked like a solid wall of dense connective tissue. They thought it was just a simple, boring barrier between our organs. But everything changed when researchers at New York University Langone Health started using a new technique called confocal laser endomicroscopy. This allowed them to look at living tissue in real time, inside a living person, without draining the fluids first. When they peered into the space beneath the surface of the skin and around the digestive tract, they didn't see a solid wall. They saw a vast, interconnected network of fluid-filled pockets supported by a complex lattice of strong, flexible proteins. It wasn't just stuff between our organs. It was a pressurized, flowing system. This is the interstitium. It's not just a layer of tissue. It's a massive highway system for fluids that exists in every part of your body, from your scalp to your toes. The interstitium is now being officially recognized by many scientists as a new organ, potentially the largest one in the entire human body by volume. It acts like a shock absorber, protecting your organs and muscles from the constant movement and friction of daily life. Think of it like a biological bubble wrap that is filled with a specialized fluid called interstitial fluid, but its job goes far beyond just protection. This hidden organ is a vital part of your lymphatic system, acting as the primary source of lymph, the fluid that carries immune cells throughout your body to fight off infection. This discovery is sending shockwaves through the world of recent scientific discoveries because it provides the missing link in how many diseases spread. For a long time, doctors struggled to understand how certain conditions could move so quickly from one part of the body to another. Now we have an answer. The interstitium is a superhighway because it is an interconnected web of fluid. It allows cells and molecules to travel across organ boundaries in ways we never thought possible. This has huge implications for how we treat everything from chronic inflammation to the way the body reacts to physical stress. If we can learn to navigate this highway, we might be able to deliver medicines directly to the source of a problem with a level of precision that was previously impossible. But why did it take until now to find it? The answer lies in the limitations of our previous technology. We were essentially trying to understand a waterfall by looking at a frozen ice cube. The interstitium is a dynamic living system that only exists when it's under pressure and filled with fluid. The moment you try to take a piece of it to study, it disappears. It's a ghost organ that only reveals itself when you are looking at the body in action. This discovery highlights a major shift in modern science. We are moving away from studying parts in isolation and starting to study the spaces between the parts. It turns out the space between your organs is just as important as the organs themselves. The discovery of the interstitium has also solved several long-standing medical mysteries. For example, have you ever wondered how acupuncture actually works? For years, Western medicine couldn't explain how needles inserted in one part of the body could affect the health of an organ far away. Some researchers are now suggesting that the interstitium might be the physical basis for the meridians described in ancient Chinese medicine. These needles might be interacting with the fluid-filled pockets and the protein lattice of the interstitium, sending mechanical or electrical signals through the body's highway system. We are finally finding the biological evidence for practices that have existed for thousands of years. Furthermore, the interstitium is proving to be a master of communication. The fluid inside these pockets isn't just sitting there, it's constantly being filtered and moved. This means that the interstitium acts like an early warning system for your immune system. If something goes wrong in your digestive tract, the chemical signals are almost instantly carried through the interstitium to the rest of the body. It's like a biological internet that keeps every part of you informed about what's happening everywhere else. This changes our entire perspective on how we maintain health. We aren't just a collection of separate pieces. We are a single, fluid-integrated system. What is truly mind-blowing is the structure of the interstitium itself. The lattice that supports the fluid pockets is made of collagen and elastin, two of the strongest and most flexible proteins in nature. But they aren't arranged randomly. They are woven together in a way that allows them to withstand incredible pressure while still being perfectly flexible. Material scientists are already looking at the interstitium as a blueprint for new types of synthetic materials. Imagine a material that is as strong as a building but as flexible as a sponge, one that can distribute pressure and fluids with perfect efficiency. The hidden organ inside you is basically a masterpiece of nanoscopic engineering. The discovery has also sparked a massive interest in the mechanical side of biology. We usually think of our bodies in terms of chemistry, enzymes, hormones, and DNA. But the interstitium shows us that mechanical forces are just as important. The way your skin stretches, the way your heart beats against your lungs, the way your muscles pull on your bones. All of these forces are managed by the interstitium. Scientists are now investigating how mechanical signaling through this organ affects our health. It turns out that simply moving your body might be sending vital signals through the interstitium that help keep your cells healthy and your immune system sharp. This discovery is a wake-up call for the entire medical community. It reminds us that even after all this time, the human body is still full of surprises. We are like explorers who have spent centuries mapping the continents, only to realize that there is a vast hidden ocean underneath the surface that we never even noticed. The new organ isn't a small addition to the map. It's a whole new dimension. Medical textbooks are literally being rewritten as we speak. Future doctors will study the interstitium with the same intensity that they study the heart or the brain. But the interstitium isn't the only hidden secret we've found recently. In the wake of this discovery, researchers have started looking at other unobserved parts of our biology. They have found new types of lymphatic vessels in the brain, where we previously thought there were none. They have found specialized immune cells in the lungs that were completely unknown to science until a few years ago. We are currently in a second age of discovery for human anatomy. Every time we improve our imaging technology, we find another layer of complexity that we missed before. It's also important to talk about the fluid dynamics of the interstitium. The fluid in this organ is part of what we call the third space. It's fluid that isn't inside your blood vessels and isn't inside your cells. For many years, doctors viewed this fluid as a problem, something that caused swelling or edema. But now we realize that this fluid is the lifeblood of our immune system. It's where your white blood cells do their best work. When you are fighting off a virus or a bacteria, the interstitium is the front line. It's the battlefield where your body defends itself. By understanding the interstitium, we can learn how to support our body's natural defense mechanisms in a much more effective way. There is also a fascinating link between the interstitium and aging. As we get older, the protein lattice of the interstitium can become stiffer and less flexible. This stiffening of the organ might be one of the underlying causes of many age-related health issues, from wrinkles in the skin to the reduced efficiency of our internal organs. Some researchers are now looking into interstitial therapy, ways to keep this hidden organ flexible and healthy as we age. If we can keep the body's highway system clear and flowing, we might be able to slow down the aging process itself. It's a radical new approach to longevity that focuses on the space between the cells. The international response to the discovery of the interstitium has been incredible. Labs all over the world are now racing to map the organ in different parts of the body. We are finding that the interstitium in your liver looks very different from the interstitium in your skin. Each part of the organ is specialized for the specific needs of the local tissue. This functional diversity makes it even more complex than we originally thought. It's not just one big organ, it's a collection of specialized microenvironments that all work together. Let's dive deeper into the implications for chronic conditions. Millions of people suffer from things like fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome, conditions that are famously difficult to diagnose and treat because they don't show up on traditional scans. Some pioneers in the field are starting to suspect that these conditions might actually be interstitium diseases. If the fluid in this organ becomes stagnant or the protein lattice becomes damaged, it could cause systemic pain and fatigue that affects the whole body. For the first time, patients who have been told it's all in your head might finally have a physical explanation for what they are going through. This hidden organ offers hope to millions of people who have been overlooked by traditional medicine. The chemistry of the interstitial fluid itself is another area of intense study. This fluid is rich in protein, minerals, and signaling molecules. It's like a soup that contains the status report for every part of your body. Scientists are now developing liquid biopsies that specifically target this fluid to get an ultra-early look at a person's health. Instead of waiting for a problem to show up in a blood test or an X-ray, we might be able to detect the very first chemical whispers of an issue inside the interstitium. It's the ultimate diagnostic tool. The discovery has also changed how we think about exercise and movement. We've always been told that exercise is good for our heart and muscles, but now we know that movement is actually pumping the interstitium. Because this organ doesn't have a central pump like the heart, it relies on the movement of your body to circulate its fluids. This gives a whole new meaning to the phrase, keep moving. Every step you take, every stretch you do, you are literally refreshing the fluid in your largest organ, helping your immune system stay active and keeping your tissues hydrated. It's the simplest and most powerful medical treatment in the world. We also have to consider the evolutionary history of the interstitium. Why did we evolve such a complex, fluid-filled highway system? It likely goes back to the very first multicellular organisms that crawled out of the ocean. Those ancient creatures needed a way to keep their internal cells wet, even when they were on dry land. The interstitium is essentially our own personal internal ocean. It's a way to carry the sea with us wherever we go. It's an ancient part of our biology that has remained vital throughout every stage of human evolution. Some researchers are now even proposing that the interstitium could be involved in sensory perception in ways we don't yet understand. There are nerve endings throughout the lattice of the organ, and some think these nerves are sensing the pressure and fluid flow of our internal systems. This might be part of what we call gut feelings, or that sixth sense of knowing when something is wrong with our health. We might be feeling the state of our interstitium on a subconscious level. It's a fascinating bridge between physical anatomy and psychological experience. As the data continues to pour in, we are realizing that the interstitium is involved in almost every biological process you can think of. From wound healing to temperature regulation, this hidden organ is always working in the background. It is the silent partner of our more famous organs. Without the interstitium, your heart couldn't beat, your lungs couldn't expand, and your brain couldn't communicate with your body. It is the infrastructure that makes life possible. The story of how the interstitium was discovered is a reminder to all of us that no matter how much we think we know, there is always more to learn. Science isn't a finished book. It's a living dialogue with reality. The fact that we found a new organ in 21st century humans is proof that we are still in the dark about many aspects of our existence. It should make us humble and curious. It should make us look at ourselves with a new sense of wonder. Consider the microhydraulics of the system. The fluid pockets of the interstitium are designed to collapse when pressed and refill when released. This creates an incredibly efficient way to move large molecules through the body without using much energy. It's a hydraulic system that puts our best human-made machines to shame. If we can master these microhydraulic principles, we could revolutionize how we design everything from water filtration systems to soft body robotics. Your own body is the most advanced lab on the planet. As the medical world adjusts to this new reality, we are seeing the birth of interstitium specialists. These are doctors who focus specifically on the health and maintenance of this organ and its fluid. They will use specialized ultrasound and laser technology to peer through your skin and check the flow of your highway system. They will prescribe specific movements, hydration protocols, and perhaps even new types of interstitium-friendly diets. The medicine of the future will be about taking care of the spaces between the parts. It is also a testament to the power of interdisciplinary science. The interstitium wasn't discovered by just one type of doctor. It took pathologists, endoscopists, and bioengineers working together to see the big picture. This is the future of discovery. We need to break down the walls between different fields and start sharing our data. When we look at the body from multiple perspectives at once, that's when the hidden things start to reveal themselves. The interstitium discovery has also reignited the debate over what makes an organ. Traditionally, an organ had to be a clearly defined, self-contained structure. But the interstitium is everywhere. It's a distributed organ. This is forcing us to create new definitions for biology. This is a very exciting time for researchers because they get to define the rules for a whole new field of study. It's like finding a new continent and getting to name all the rivers and mountains. The more we look at the interstitium, the more we realize it's a protector. It's not just bubble wrap. It's a shield. It absorbs the insults we throw at our bodies every day. It takes the shock of a bump. It filters the toxins from a bad meal. And it buffers the changes in temperature when we go outside. It is the body's first line of defense against the stresses of the world. By taking care of your interstitium, you are taking care of your most vital layer of protection. As you go about your day today, try to feel your interstitium. When you stretch your arms, feel that lattice of collagen and elastin moving. When you drink a glass of water, think about that fluid moving through the pockets beneath your skin. You are a fluid-driven, pressurized biological machine. You are host to a hidden organ that is as large as the brain and as vital as the heart. You are much more complex and much more beautiful than you ever realized. The discovery of the interstitium is just the beginning. Now that we know what to look for, who knows what else we will find? The human body is like a deep-sea trench. We've only explored the top layer. But with every new technology and every curious mind, we are going deeper. We are finding that we are not just solid objects, but flowing systems. We are finding that the spaces are just as full of life as the parts. Let the interstitium be a reminder to you that secrets are everywhere. Sometimes the biggest things are the hardest to see because they are too close to us. For thousands of years, we looked at this organ every single time we performed an operation or looked at a slide, and we just didn't see it. We saw what we expected to see, a solid wall. It took a fresh eye and a new perspective to see the truth. This discovery changes our past, present, and future. It changes our past because it redefines how humans have functioned for thousands of years. It changes our present because it gives new answers to old medical questions. And it changes our future because it offers a whole new way to treat disease and extend life. The interstitium isn't just a new organ, it's a new chapter in the human story. So keep up with the recent scientific discoveries, because we are living in a time when the impossible is becoming obvious. We are discovering that our bodies are even more miraculous than we imagined. We are finding that we are interconnected in ways that we can barely comprehend. The interstitium is the physical proof of that connection. It is the highway that links every part of you into one harmonious whole. Take a moment to appreciate this hidden organ. It has been working for you since before you were born, protecting you, feeding you, and communicating for you, all without you ever knowing it was there. It is the silent hero of your anatomy. And now that it's finally been brought into the light, we can finally begin to give it the attention it deserves. Your body is a temple of mysteries, and you've just found the most important secret of them all. The medical textbooks of 10 years from now will look very different from the ones today. They will have entire chapters on the interstitium, its fluid dynamics, and its role in everything from skin health to mental clarity. This discovery is a permanent part of our history now. It is a milestone in our journey to understand ourselves. And the best part is that we get to be here to see it happen. Every time you hear about a new breakthrough in cancer research or a new way to deliver medicine, think of the interstitium. It is very likely involved. It is the hidden architecture of the future of health. We are no longer just looking at the liver, the lungs, or the kidneys. We are looking at the fluid-filled network that holds them all together. We are looking at the big picture. Thank you for exploring this hidden world inside you with me. The human body is a vast, beautiful place, and there is still so much more to find. Stay curious, stay informed, and never stop being amazed by the miracles that are happening inside you every single second. You are a living wonder, and the interstitium is the proof. The hidden organ has finally been found, and it changes everything. The story of the human body is still being written, and this is one of the most exciting chapters yet. As we move forward, let's carry this knowledge with us. Let's respect our bodies as the fluid integrated systems they are. Let's move, hydrate, and breathe with the awareness of our hidden organ. And most of all, let's be ready for the next discovery, because the universe and your own body always has another secret waiting to be revealed. The interstitium is finally here. It's inside you right now, flowing, protecting, and waiting for you to notice. It's time we started paying attention to the spaces in between, because that's where the real magic of life is happening. Stay inspired by the science, and never lose your sense of wonder for the masterpiece that is the human body. Until next time, keep exploring the wonders of reality, both outside and in. The world inside you is just as vast as the universe outside, and it's just as worth exploring. Stay healthy,